meantime,
Set apart God's family. Hey, when you get in, man, drop a comment in the chat room. When you get in, drop a comment in the chat room. We got somebody. If you're watching, drop a comment in the chat. Time is 26, 4 minutes. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Shalom, shalom. How you doing? Lana Yasharala, how you doing? Man. So today we're gonna do some Q&A. If you got a question, drop it in the chat, man. I'm also gonna do some reflections just based off of being on a homestead slash farm for over a year, and also we're gonna do Q&A reflections and future plans for the farm, because there's a lot more to come. And man, I'm glad you're able to listen in. If you haven't, please hit that like and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to as many black people, African American, however you want to identify yourself. But if you are black in America, um, that is my target audience that I'm trying to reach. So, yeah, they blast the music. Sorry, y'all, they distracted me. But the goal is to get my channel. I'm trying to get my channel and my message in front of black people in the United States of America, descendants of slaves. You know, not just limited to that though, but that is my target audience because I want to get black people back to the land. I want to get black people back to the way our ancestors lived, back to the reason why our ancestors were captured in the first place, which is because they were skilled labor, because they knew they were agriculturalists, brick masons, construction, carpentry, all that good stuff. Self-sufficient, in essence. That's really what it's about, self-sufficiency. Fishermen, farmers, agriculture, gardeners, whatever. Whatever you want to say. But please hit that subscribe, like and subscribe. So we are going to get started at 8:30. Got 1 minute. 1 minute left. I'm just looking up something on the computer real quick. I gotta look at the time.
I should have had some music.
Matter of fact, that's when I'm gonna play some music. Y'all bear with me. I know it's about 8:30 right now. I'm gonna play some music for the background. 1 second. Hey, and I appreciate y'all for for checking me out, man. I appreciate y'all for coming on to the live. Just getting some music together. Give me 1 second.
I know it is 8:30.
On the dot. 8:30 on the dot. Hey man, and one thing I really want to say is I appreciate y'all. White Family Homestead. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Searching for music for your next video? Then you need to check out Artlist.
Yeah, man.
Amazing
YouTube,
music
getting the
editing.
background music together. There we go. White Family Homestead, a farmstead. I'm sorry, I said the name wrong. Hey, I like what y'all doing, man. I got a chance to check out some of y'all videos. I love what y'all are doing, man. Keep it up, man. See, the thing about it, man, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. It's about how you. Sorry, let me turn this music down real quick. Yeah. But it's not about how you start. Y'all have humble beginnings. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, hey, if y'all have any questions, leave them down in the chat. Leave them down in the chat. All right. So today I just really want to focus on some basic things, some Q&A, some reflections, and also future plans. What I got going on the farm, on the homestead, because we got a lot going on, man. We just put up new fencing for the sheep. We got an area for them. That's always good, to get infrastructure built, and that's what a lot of and going into reflection. That's what I didn't know coming into farming, because a lot of people inherit farms. A lot of people, they move on homesteads, they move on farms that already have infrastructure built, already have a barn built, or they already have fencing up, already have animal shelter. They already have an area of operation that is, workable, if you will. So that's one thing, reflecting, that's one thing that I didn't realize the magnitude of just how much. Hey, G My Grows, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, I'm glad you're tuning in. I'm glad you're tuning in. Yes, I love your channel as well too. I love what you're doing on your channel. But right now I'm just talking about the reflections about as far as getting started with farming and homesteading. And like I was saying, I didn't realize the magnitude of infrastructure and building your foundation, because just like with anything, man, when you're building a foundation, that's the hardest part. And that's the most important part as well. So whenever you got a house that you want to build, you have to lay the foundation first. You got to get the area that you want to lay your foundation on. You got to prep that area, make sure it's level, make sure it's a good area to build on. Like even in the Bible, Christ says you don't want to build your foundation on sandy grounds. You want to make sure it's on a solid rock. Yes, you see me starting my fence. Yes, ma'am. Yes, that's what it's about. Getting it built up. And I'm about to build some more fencing as well. And I'm gonna actually record that on the video as well. But anyways, Christ says you want to build your foundation on solid rock. You don't want it on sand. Chicago, okay. Beginning growing food. I'm a beginner. Hey, I'm a beginner as well. Now I'm not brand new, but I would consider myself a beginner as well. I have no farm background. I didn't grow up on the farm. I grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the inner city. So I'm new to it as well. But at the same time, I have about 2 years worth of experience. And I did grow up. When I was in high school, I did raise chickens a little bit. I'll get into that later on, but I digress on that point. But yeah, that's the thing about it. Building on a solid foundation, and that's what I am focused on right now, is putting in the sweat equity. That's what it's about, sweat equity. That means you're going in, you're putting in the work. So I could pay, I could pay about $20,000 to get my whole property fenced off. I can do that. That's easy. You see what I'm saying? Like I can go, get a USDA loan, or whatever the case may be, get a loan from whoever, or try to pull it out of wherever and get enough to fence my whole property. But at the same time, that's see, I would rather put in the sweat equity. I would rather put in the work. I would rather put in the blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I'm saying? So when we built that sheep fencing over there, that took maybe 2 days, but I was able to get the experience, hands on, learning how to do things. Because if push comes to shove and I have to do it myself, I want to know how to do it myself. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where that sweat equity comes into play. Because you do your research, of course, and then you go out and execute. You know what I'm saying? So just reflecting, man, infrastructure is one of the most important things. Having the area for, well, first off, having a plan. So before moving here, to our property in Georgia, um, prior to this, we lived in Virginia, and we had probably like close to an acre. You know what I'm saying? Where we lived at, and we did chickens. We didn't have any other animals. We did chickens. No turkeys, no goats, no sheep, none of that. We had only chickens, and we had a garden. We had a raised bed. We had a small raised bed, and that's where I first started to experiment. And I said, the next place I move to, I want to have goats, I want to have sheep, I want to be able to have cows. If I want to raise hogs for money, to sell pork, I want to be able to do that. But whatever I want to do, I want to be able to do that, and that was the goal. So I had a plan coming in. I wanted, of course, turkeys, chickens, all that good stuff. But I wanted to have a plan, and so my plan was, like I said, having those animals to be able to feed myself and my family, and be able to sell as well, and have enough room to do it, and not have to worry about an HOA, not have to worry about the neighbors calling the police or whatever. Not the police. I'm sorry, but the uh, 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 basically the county. I forget what the name is. Where they come out and they tell you you're not able to have this or that. I forgot. But anyway, because that happened to us at our previous home. We had neighbors who felt like we had too many chickens, so they called the people on us. I'm going to just call them the people. You know how black folks do. We just say they called the people on us. You know what I'm saying? So they called the people on us, and the people came out and they told us, hey, you got too many chickens. This how many you're able to have, and all this stuff. So we did that. We downsized and all that stuff. So we came in with a plan, and that was the goal, to come in with a plan. And after having a plan, that's when you start to build. So you don't want to put the cart before the horse. That part. Grandma grows that part. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they called the people on us. And so moving here where I'm at now in South Georgia, um, after we formulated our plan, we knew exactly what we wanted to do. And we knew exactly how to do it. So uh, now comes part two, is building. Building the infrastructure, building the barn, building the shelters, building the fencing, the garden area, trellises. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that you have to take into consideration. Has having a farm limited your travels? Like, if you and the fam wanted to take a vacation, or do yeah, people take care of things? That's a great question. The purple elephant. Hey, I want to shout out the purple elephant as well. I like your comment. Let me see. How can I like it? I'm new to this stuff, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't like it, but I'll go back and like it. And I'm going to pin that comment. The Purple Elephant, I want to shout out to you because you've been a loyal subscriber since day one. I just want to really tell you I appreciate you. Also, the White Family Homestead, too, Grandma Grows, y'all have been loyal subscribers, loyal supporters of my content. I really appreciate y'all, for sure. So I definitely want to shout you out, the Purple Elephant, because you're consistent. Every time I drop a video, you comment on it. I really appreciate that, and I just want to let you know from my heart how much I appreciate that. You really, you and others like Grandma Grows and the White Family Homestead and other people who support and comment on my videos, you guys really keep me going and pushing, despite whatever I got going on outside of the farm. But anyways, yeah. So traveling, that's a great thing. That's a great question because when you got animals, like at one point I had sheep, I had goats, and I had chickens, and I had a dog. Um, the old dog we had. Um, so when you talking about traveling, you can't just up and leave that. You can't just up and leave that. So yes, you have to make a plan. You have to make a plan. So I ain't gonna say it necessarily stopped me because I'm gonna figure out a way to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if I feel like me and my family need a break and we need to travel because we love to travel. We love just hopping in the car and taking a road trip. We love that. Me and my wife especially. because we get to unwind, we get to talk, we get to brainstorm. We get to laugh and joke and play and all that and all that good stuff. So it's good to get away. You know what I'm saying? It can't be work, 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 work. It can't be just that. So yes, we travel and I make a way. So one thing that I have done is I've streamlined the process, right? So I'm prior military, active duty, army. I'm still in the reserve, but that's just 1 weekend a month type stuff. But prior active duty, I learned really how to streamline processes, right? So I worked in the office. I did human resources. You learn how to simplify things because one thing I learned is when you complicate things, there's no continuity in it. There's no standard operating procedures, right? So I learned how to streamline things. So I have all my feed bins organized. I have all my feed bins labeled. So whether it's for feed for the chickens, whether it's feed for the goats, sheep, feed for the dog, whatever the case may be, whatever animals I got, or if I have to water the garden, I have a process because my thing is my daily chores take me maybe at the most 10, 15 minutes. And that's traveling to and from the garage to get stuff and all that stuff. So my process is very efficient. It's very streamlined because I want to make it as easy on myself as possible. Because I still have to work a full-time job. I got to get up in the morning, and make sure the animals are all right. And then I got to come home in the evening and make sure the animals are all right. So I want to make it to where it's not such a hassle. Because say if I got a long day at work, I've had it to where I've had a long day at work, where I had to go to work and work long hours and then come home and then it's dark. So I want to make sure that my process is streamlined. So when I plan on going on a vacation, I let the person know. And what I have done, so what I first started doing was having family come up and house sit. You see what I'm saying? So I have, one of my closest cousins or somebody I know, that's pretty responsible and that's good for it. I have them come up, and they can stay at the house. Hey man, you can eat what you want in the refrigerator. We black, we black folks. You know what I'm saying? Family, you come, hey man, me casa, su casa. What's mine is yours. So I would have family come up and house it, and things like, cause I'm only like at the most 2 hours from my hometown. So if you want to, if I want to get somebody to come up, it ain't nothing but a 2 hour trip, and I, just reimburse them for gas or whatever the case may be. So that way I'm not, spending a lot of money on just somebody house sitting. So I just paid like one of my cousins or somebody close to me. Miss L, shout out to you as well. Shout out to Miss L. So I'll have somebody close to me come up and do that and house it for me. And I just take a video of uh, the process as far as feeding the animals in the morning. So I typically feed the animals 2 times a day, in the morning and in the evening. You know, and with chickens, sometimes you don't even got to do that. But with sheep and stuff like that, you want to make sure you feed them at least 2 times a day. Feed them hay or feed them some pellets, some alfalfa pellets. So that's what I would do. I just record it and I send it to them. I say, hey, and if they get if they are there before I leave, I would just walk them around and show them the process. But other than that, man, I just use technology to my advantage. I just show them what the process is and I let them do that. But what I have been doing recently is I have a good brother in Christ, who I'm real close with and real good friends with. He comes over all the time, and so he pretty much knows the process. I taught him the process as far as what I need to do, and so when I'm out of town, I just say, hey, bro, can you? So y'all can take a day trip and really enjoy it. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We do it all the time. But yeah, so that's what I do. My real good brother in Christ, shout out to my brother Rakeem. He's the one who comes to help me a lot of the times. We do Bible study together throughout the week, and he's around the animals all the time, so he's pretty much used to them, and he knows the process. So I taught him. So what I would suggest for somebody who's first starting out a homestead and you get animals and stuff like that, streamline your process. Make it as simple as possible. Simplicity is your best friend. We all heard of the KISS concept, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. That's gonna help you a lot on a homestead or on a farm. So I just simplified my process, streamlined it, made sure I know where everything is, made sure it's simple, it's easy. All I gotta do is just do the manual labor, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So that is a great question. I think it was two parts to your question. Let me see what the other part of your question was. Oh, okay. The second part of the question. Well, it wasn't really the second part, but you said, do you um do you take care of things? Oh, never mind. I read that wrong. Okay, but yeah, that answers your question. Yeah. Another thing you can do too. This is what I used to do at my old home in Virginia, right? So one thing I would do at my old home in Virginia is like when we just had only chickens, you make an automatic feeder, right? So I made it real simple, and it was a little ghetto, Don't judge me. I'm a little ghetto. I read things up. My granddaddy like that. My daddy like that too. I read things up. But hey, whatever works for you. I know it works for me. But what I did was I took 5 gallon buckets, what you get from Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever you should buy, and I drilled like 4 holes. So on each side, I drilled 4 holes, and what I did was it's a little tube that you can put into that hole, and then you just fill the whole thing up with feed. You cover the top, you elevate it off the ground, and the chickens can stick their head in there and eat all day long. They can stick their head in there, and that tube is gonna keep it from overflowing and overspilling. And if you want to, you can also screw a feed pan on the bottom of that to collect whatever feed spills over. So you can also do that if you just have just chickens. You can just create a automatic feeder and an automatic waterer. So they have watering nipples that you can buy with the same concept with a 5 gallon bucket or whatever. You just fill that up with water, and you put the nipples on there. You drill holes and you put the nipples in there, and then the chickens, if they're trained to it, they can go and get as much water as they want. So yeah, you can also do that as well if you just have chickens or if you just have poultry, birds. But it's kind of, you can do that with bigger animals like hogs and sheep and stuff like that. But you talking about big drums of stuff. But I don't necessarily do that. I just hey, I just tell the person, whoever is going to be feeding them every day, just throw some hay over there. Like that's another thing. You can have a hay feeder that feeds them. That way you don't have to do it every day. But the way that those prices looking on those hay feeders, I don't necessarily want to buy them right now. So I just give them the hay every day. I just throw it to them every day. I give them buckets. Let's see if we got any more comments. Yup. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. No, for real. That's real. Have I thought about raising bees? Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. Hey, keep the questions coming, man. Keep the questions because I love that. I love to have something to go off of. Because I could talk all day about, my reflections and about my plans for the future. I can talk all day about that. And I'm also gonna talk about that in videos. But I really want to focus on questions. But yes, to answer your question, G Mama Grows, I have thought about raising bees. And that's the thing. When I first, if you will, if you want to say, got exposed to self-sufficiency and all that stuff, and being a farmer and all that, that's one of the main things I was looking at, because I was looking at self-sufficiency in total. Because I know I'm not gonna grow no sugar cane and produce sugar. So I'm like, well, what's the next easiest thing, to have a sweetener, if you will, raising bees. And Chop led Farmer 73 because I also look at his videos. He does beekeeping as well, and that's definitely a part of my plans in the future is to raise bees. So I have an area to where I put some I forget what they call them, but the boxes where they keep the bees at. I do want to raise bees. I want to do a lot of stuff. I want to have milk goats as well. I want to have milk goats, goats for milk, and uh, cows and all that type of stuff. I want to have all that, man. Because the goal is to make it to where you don't have to rely on anybody for anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I always said in my videos, and for y'all who watch me, this might sound a little cliche, because I say it all the time. But when you give somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you, and And when you think about that deeply, like that's so true. Because think about, okay, it's a little different for us in the South, but think about somebody who lives in New York City. Every everything that they consume gets trucked in, gets shipped in through flights, train, or boat. Everything that they consume. There are no farms in New York City. No farms. You got to go to upstate New York. I ain't talking about the state. I'm talking about the city of New York. There are no farms in the city of New York, right? You so everything is an import. So let's just let what let's think about a situation to where there's nothing that's able to get into the city in a week. The supermarkets, the shelves of the supermarkets, the Walmarts, the Whole Foods, all these, all these different things, all these different places where people go to shop. The shelves are going to get emptier and emptier to the point that there's going to be nothing left on the shelves. So these people are going to be dependent on those people who who own those supermarkets and those people who bring those import those products in, right? They're going to be dependent. They're going to be totally dependent. So we don't want to be in that situation. We don't want to be in that situation. We want to be able to produce everything. And it's not just food, it's clothing as well. Our grandmothers knew how to knit, they knew how to make clothes. You know what I'm saying? They knew how to, make shoes or sandals or whatever. Our grandfathers, they knew how to build shelter, build huts or houses or cabins, whatever the case may be. Fish, hunt, as well as farm. That's why I've been introducing fishing to my channel as well. Because self-sufficiency isn't just about farming. It isn't just about farming. Farming is is the main thing that I'm focusing on. Farming and homesteading, they go hand in hand. It's interchangeable if you really want to look at it like that. But also fishing, because guess what? Fish is a good part that you can add to your diet as well. You see what I'm saying? Like if you low on meat, it ain't really like you can't really hunt at the moment. You could go fish. You can have that to supplement. You see what I'm saying? But I'm sorry to go off on that tangent. But yes, I have thought about raising bees, and I am going to in the future raise bees. I'm gonna do a lot of stuff, man. I really want to produce 90% of the things I consume. That's the goal. Like I remember watching a video on YouTube, and there's a black farmer. He was I believe, fifth generation black farmer, and he was talking about how when he was growing up, they never had to go to the store for anything. They produced their own lard, butter, meat, vegetables, all of that stuff. They produce all of that stuff themselves. You see what I'm saying? And I milk. I eventually want to get to that point. Digging a well. They knew how to dig wells back then. We don't know how to dig a well right now. We don't. You see what I'm saying? But let me go to the next. There's another question. Have y'all been able to find a good church home since moving? Oh man, that's a great question. Um, because it's crazy that you asked me that because I actually just got an invite to a church this Sunday we're gonna go to. And honestly, so and all right, let me just say it like this. God has had me on a journey, these past 2 years, what I'm saying, with a lot of revelations and stuff like that he's been giving me. Um, and just people he's put in my path. So yes and no. So the church, anybody who knows the word, the church is not necessarily a building you go to and all that good stuff. The church is the assembly of the believers, right? And I meet with the assembly of the believers every week. We have a weekly Bible study where we study the Word of God and we come together and we pray. Um, and yes, I have found a good group of believers, a good assembly of believers who I have been able to get in connection with. And like I said, we go through the Word and we study the Word weekly. And we fellowship and we praise God weekly. So yes. And also, to add to that, I have been invited to a church this Sunday that I'm going to go to. and you know, potentially, you know, meet with other believers, and who knows where we'll go from there. Um, but yes and no. But my forever church home will always be my father's church. You know, my dad is a pastor. He does have a church down in my hometown in Jacksonville, Florida. So, yes, that is my forever home church. I always have a church home no matter where I'm at in the world. You know, and I always have a shepherd wherever I'm at. But yeah, great question. All right, let's see. Let's see any other questions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the direction the food industry is going in. The direction the food industry is going in. That is, man, that's a good topic. You know what I'm saying? Because I was actually just talking to a coworker about this because I work with a lady. Her family, they own thousands of acres here in South Georgia. They own thousands of acres. They raise cattle, horses, chickens, what you name it, they raise it. They pretty big in the farming industry. And we were talking about it because I was asking her about you know, the videos that I had come across on Facebook of the thousands of cows that just fell dead suddenly, and the crops that were being burned, and you know, all this stuff. We were talking about that, and one thing that we were talking about especially is how inflation is affecting the farming industry, and many people don't realize just where is they don't realize just how expensive things are about to get and where the industry is headed towards. You see what I'm saying? Because the farm industry, with the fuel going up, with the feed going up, you talking about labor as well. You talking about, I mean, we've had a very, very hot year this year so far. You know, so crops are being destroyed, burned by the sun, just all this stuff, man. And prices are about to skyrocket. And that's exactly why I'm telling people, young people, black people, all people. I'm telling all people, if you can, try to start growing some of your own stuff. Try to, because you know where it's headed. I'm talking, you man, I sell meat. You know, I sell poultry. I sell goat meat, lamb meat. I sell meat. You know what I'm saying? Through my business, Set Apart Gardens LLC. And when I first started selling chicken, people were looking at my prices like, man, that's oh, that's a little expensive. Mainly black folks, mainly my family and stuff like that, who I was selling to. You know, black folks always trying to get a discount. I'm black, so I ain't nothing against nobody black. But I'm just saying, you know how we do each other. You know what I'm saying? If it's $25, we trying to get it for 15 from each other. You know, and that's another mindset issue that we have. But I digress on that point. But they were looking at my prices like, man, that's kind of up there. And I'm like, but you got to think about first off what you paying for. What are you paying for? You're paying for an organic product, a quality product. You talking about? I get out here every day. I feed these chickens. I give these chickens water. I make sure their tractor is moved every single day. I observe them. I watch them. I protect them. I make sure they are safe every single day. I know the exact feed that I'm giving them. I know, all the nutrition that's going into this product, right? I can provide you with all of that information. You have a direct connection to your food. That is what you are paying for. You see what I'm saying? And you think that's expensive, but now, fast forward a couple months later, they're looking at how inflation is going up and prices are rising. My prices aren't even bad compared to what prices are becoming now. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I mean, that's another thing. People, they don't have a connection to their food, so they don't really understand. They don't really grasp the fact that, man, you're not necessarily just paying for chicken. No, what kind of chicken are you paying for? Because anybody can just go buy chicken from anywhere, from any store. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know who raised that chicken. You don't know what farm it was raised on, what it was fed. You don't know what steroids it was given. You don't know the process of the butcher. You don't know anything. I can provide you with all that information. So you're really paying for organic, healthy, quality, and peace of mind. You see what I'm saying? But the food industry, man, is really it's taking the turn for the worse. You got farms being burnt down, processing sites being burnt down, man. It's really going crazy, man. And so that's why I suggest our people to either get with somebody who is growing food, who is able to provide that for you and support them, or do it yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody can't be a farmer. I came to that realization a long time ago. Everybody don't got the stomach for it. You see what I'm saying? Like people, they don't, like people in my family, man. They go, I don't see how you could do that and this and that. You know, it's just in me. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, I understand that. But if it's not for you, respect respect the people who do that job and support the people who do that job. You see what I'm saying? So that way you can make sure that your family eats, because everybody got to eat, everybody got to drink water, and everybody got to have shelter. You see what I'm saying? Those are the basic necessities. It's all about self-sufficiency. All right, let's see what else comments we got. Thank you, White Family Homestead. I appreciate it. Gardening in the Bayou City, shout out to you. If you ain't subscribed, please subscribe. Yeah, that video of the cows and sheep was the biggest red flag for me. It's been over 100-degree weather in the Midwest for centuries. Yes. And you had people who were explaining it away, talking about I guess because of the feed that they were being fed, and they weren't necessarily properly hydrated because they were on a high grain diet. That's what they were saying. Those cows were on a high grain diet, and truth be told, that could have been the case, because when an animal is fed a high grain diet in extreme heat circumstances, and they're not properly, hydrated because they're on these feedlots, and they're just being forced, pretty much just force fed, and not technically force fed, but they got access to as much feed as possible, and it's high in grains and it's high in carbs, and they don't have that necessarily hydration to be able to regulate, their body and everything like that. That could cause them to pass away. That could cause them to die. That could have very well been the case. You see what I'm saying? Because yeah, we've been having, extreme heat in the country for many centuries. But I don't know, man. This year been hot. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if it's because I'm in Georgia but I was in Georgia last year, and it was hot. But man, it's been hot this year. I ain't gonna lie. I got at least a skin tone darker. You know what I'm saying? I have got at least a skin tone darker. It's been hot this year. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that was a red flag for me too, because you just never know. You just never know uh, what the agenda is. You never know. But at the same time, you know what I do know? I know what I can control. I know what I'm doing on my farm. I know what I'm doing to make sure my family will be okay in the event, that something bad happens. If the government is sabotaging the system, you just never know. I don't know about all that, but I just know that we can take action right now, and we can make sure that we're prepared. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. All right, we had another comment, another question. What do you think about the high prices on feed? Yeah, the high prices on feed. I mean, with inflation, everything goes up. Everything. You know, gas. When see, I already knew prices was finna go up when gas started to get high. When gas started to get high, I was like, yeah, feed prices about to go up. Cause man, hay prices, oh, hay prices are so high right now. For 3 bales of alfalfa hay, I paid like $60. $60, yes. It was that expensive. It was that expensive. Hold on, y'all. Let me turn on this light. Get better lighting here. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to turn on my light. But yeah, the feed prices are gonna go up. The food prices are going to go up. All the prices are going to go up because it's like an assembly line. All things work together. All things work hand in hand, if you will. You see what I'm saying? If the feed price is going up, if the food price is going up in the grocery store, the prices for labor are going to go up. If the prices for labor are going up, the price for material is going to go up. If the prices for material are going to go up, the prices for, whatever you consuming, the prices is going to go up because all of it works together. And everybody got to get paid. You see what I'm saying? Everybody got expenses. So the same people who coming out, let's say you an electrician, prices for electricians gonna go up because they gotta eat, they gotta use fuel to get to where you are, their labor of course, and the materials that they gotta use. You see what I'm saying? So all the stuff they gotta use is incorporated into that. So yes, it's gonna drive the price up. Essentially, that's just economics. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, with uh with the feed prices going up and the fuel prices going up, it's going to be a lot of farmers are they're gonna have to jack their prices up to make a profit. You see what I'm saying? So just be prepared for that. But you can circumvent that if you start growing your own food right now. Uh, how hands on is your wife with the farm? My wife has lately she's been well from the beginning she's been pretty hands on. Um, she's always helped out, with the morning chores and stuff like that. But one thing recently my wife has started doing is getting in the garden. Cause if you notice, I haven't really been putting out a lot of videos about the garden. Like I got little stuff growing, but it's not a main focus right now because I'm building infrastructure and I'm building a foundation. I'm making sure that we have areas for the animals and clearing land and doing all this stuff. So the garden hasn't really been my focal point. But my wife, she stepped up in that department, and she's been learning about growing food and stuff like that. Because prior to this, my wife had no agricultural experience at all. It wasn't even of interest to her until I told her I wanted to be a farmer. You know what I'm saying? And when I actually started researching and, 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 and putting into action what I wanted to do, then that's when she really started to understand. So she's pretty new to it, in essence. But lately, she has been getting the garden right. So today, for example, she's starting seeds. She's starting seeds for a vegetable garden. She's been watching some YouTube channel. I'm not sure exactly who it is. I'm not gonna quote them because I don't know exactly the name of the YouTube channel. But she's been watching it, and she's been learning a lot about planting and growing vegetables and stuff like that. And it has really sparked something in her because she, as well, has been seeing what's going on in the world, and she wants to make sure we have vegetables and fruit, to eat as well as meat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she's been very hands on and learning and everything like that. But I'm not gonna say the problem. The obstacle that we're both facing is that we both work. I work full time. I run a business as well. I'm taking college courses as well. And my wife, she owns a business full time. So and she's raising the children. We're both raising children, but she's with the children majority of the day. So we got to factor in all that stuff. So it's a lot of obstacles that we got to go through just to be able to get to a point to where we can say, okay, let me go outside, let me put my energy into this. But yes, to answer your question, she has been getting very involved recently in everything we got going on the farm, because it's a team effort. It's set apart gardens family. It's set apart gardens. It's not just me. I'm just the face of it right now, but this is a family legacy. It's not just a business, it's a legacy. It's a it's it whatever you want to call it, but that's what it is. It's me, my wife, and my children. This is the brand that in the umbrella that we all fall under, because God has given me this as a purpose. You see what I'm saying? All right, let's see what we got. Any plans for donkey or horses? Horses, most definitely. I had thought about donkeys in the past, because uh, you can get donkeys as far as livestock gardening animals. They'll guard your livestock. But I just got a dog for that. Oh, that's another thing I talk about. I talk about the dog I got. But yes, horses. My son wants horses. My wife wants horses. So yes, we definitely want to get horses. Don't mind the sweat. It's hot out here. It's humid down here in Georgia. But yeah, horses, yes. I want to get quarter horses. I'm not sure if anybody knows about breeds of horses, but I want to get quarter horses. You know, quarter horses are some of the most beautiful horses, horse breeds, and everything that I personally like. So yes, we want to get quarter horses. We want to get about two, you know, so the kids can grow up with them and know how to ride them, and me and my wife can know how to ride them. Because I've never ridden a horse before. I don't know. I ain't gonna say I don't know, but I don't have any experience with horses. I know because I've read upon horses and looked at videos, but I don't have any experience with horses. My son has rode a horse before me. You know, he's rode a horse twice. I never rode a horse, but I do want to get him. And that's another thing my dad has been uh, being so aggravating about is getting a horse because he wants a horse too. But yeah, so to answer your question, yes, we do want horses. All right, let's see what else comments we got. Wondering if you're doing any prepping. Also, if you have a favorite portable power box. Prepping, yes. Portable power box. I believe. I believe we do have a portable power box. Um, don't quote me on the brand that we got. But yes, we look into all of that type of stuff. Especially with prepping because the main thing. So y'all know I got an army background. You know, and the main thing I have been prepping is freeze dried foods, MREs. So, so like, all right, for instance, right, I'm in the Army Reserve. So last month, I, the whole month of June, I was doing my Army Reserve training. So during that Army Reserve training, they gave us 2 boxes of MREs, right? MRE, I think you get like 15 in the box, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. But you get a lot of them in the box, right? And so what I did was I ate maybe like 4 or 5 MREs, and I put the rest of the MREs that I had, I put them, you know, to the side, just to store for, you know, future events and what could happen because MREs can last up to 30 years. You see what I'm saying? Freeze dried foods, they can last like decades. So yes, I do prep. I got books on prepping. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to, matter of fact, I'm gonna tag a video. Oh yeah, the MREs. Yes, the MREs for sure. And guess what? See, um, a lot of, especially man, and I hate to go off on this tangent, but a lot of soldiers they complain about MREs now. I grew up in, you know, in the army. When I first came in the army, MREs we didn't have no problem with MREs. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays everybody they don't want to eat MREs all of a sudden. But I still eat MREs. Like like I said, I ate some out of that box. Yeah, I ate. Matter of fact, even when I was done with my army training, what I still had them. I had the boxes in my truck. I ate one of them for lunch one day because I didn't want to go buy no food. Like yeah, I like MREs. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, MREs I store them to the side. I can't think of the name of the other freeze dried foods that I buy. And the other, matter of fact, I'll just put it all in the description, right? But yes, prepping, we do prepping. We make sure we prep. And the main thing in prep is to make sure that you're able to grow your own food. See, I'm gonna tell you something. You can store up as much canned goods, you can store up as much MREs, freeze dried foods that have a long shelf life, but it ain't gonna mean nothing if you don't have anything to replenish that stockpile that you got. So if you don't have seeds, if you don't have the know-how, if you don't have animals, then it won't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not one of those doomsday type of people, but I just understand that hey, you gotta know how to survive regardless. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the most important thing I would tell you with prepping is make sure you have seeds and make sure you have the know-how to grow those vegetables. Make sure you have the know-how to hunt, fish, and harvest your own meat as well. You see what I'm saying? All right. Have you ever had moments with the farm where you felt the purple elephant said? I'm finna get a little ghetto because I like that question. She said, "Have you ever had moments with the farm where you felt like you bit off more than you could chew?" Hell yes. Excuse my language, but hell yeah, man. But here's the thing though. When I feel like that, when I get in those, man, I think I mean, see me, I'm an overthinker type of person. Like I overthink all situations. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes, especially in the beginning, now I got more of a better understanding and more of a better perspective. But especially when I first bought the property and first started farming, I did feel like I bit off more than I could chew. You know what I'm saying? And when I would reflect on that, you know what I'm saying, I would just remind myself one step at a time, one step at a time. See, it's a song I like. Smokey Norfolk. He say, uh, one more day, one more step. God is, in essence, he's saying, God is saying, I'm preparing you for myself. You know, so I just always keep that in my mind. It's one more day, one more step. You know, and when you feel like you in over your head, when you feel like, man, it's too much, that's when you should be reassured that you're doing the right thing. Because here's the thing, you know, when God has you on a certain trajectory, and when He gives you a purpose, it's gonna seem like it's a lot. It's gonna seem like it's too much, but He knows what He's giving you, and He knows that He won't give you more than you can bear. So yeah, I feel like that a lot, especially and I can and just to even be real with y'all, because we all family, South Lawrence family. Um, Even to be real with y'all, even with my business I just started this year, selling pasture, poultry, and organic meat. Um, I oftentimes feel like, man, I bit off more than I can chew. You know what I'm saying? Because my problem isn't necessarily the support. My problem isn't necessarily the work. My problem is living up to the expectation. Living up to the expectation. Because so many people have, excuse me, these bugs. But so many people, man, they have great expectations for you. And sometimes, man, that can be so discouraging. But at the same time, sometimes it can be encouraging as well. So I just try to be encouraged, and most importantly, I try to lean on the Most High. Cause I need Him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing this off my own strength. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing this based off of His grace. And sorry to start preaching, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's my calling. You know what I'm saying? That's my calling. But yeah, I feel like that a lot. In life, I feel like that with everything. Being a husband, being a business owner, being a father, being a soldier, being a farmer. You know, you feel like that a lot of times, that you get off more than you can chew. That it's a lot. But at the same time, the thing that separates people, the thing that separates people who feel like that, is one person to get discouraged and start to back away, but the other person, they'll just continue to take steps in the direction to where God is calling them. You see what I'm saying? So instead, cause I could feel like that all day, but I know one thing: I'm not gonna quit. I could look at these acres that I know need to be cleared, these wooded forested acres that need to be cleared, and I can get discouraged because I know I'm not gonna call nobody out here to clear it for me. I'm gonna do it myself with people who I know that's gonna help me. I'm gonna do it myself, and I can look at that and say, man, that's gonna take a long time. But at the same time, guess what? It's just one step at a time. It's just day after day, and I'm gonna do a little at a time. I know, man. I got to fence off all these. I got to fence off all these acres, man. I got to get all these animals. I got to do all this. I got to do all that. Man, it's easy to think like that. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, I know I can't do it all in one day. So I try to use that to my advantage. Like, you can't do it all in one day. It's gonna take some time. So guess what? Do what you can do in that day. You see what I'm saying? Do what you can do in that one day, and then wake up and do the same thing again. Simple as that. Simple as that. Do what you can do in one day, and then wake up the next day and do what you can. All right. And man, that's a word. Yes. They tossed those out to us during Hurricane Katrina. Oh, I didn't know you was in Hurricane Katrina. It's funny. It's funny that you brought that up, because I remember when Hurricane Katrina first hit. It was actually supposed to hit Florida too, but I guess it changed the trajectory. and it went up to Louisiana. And during that time, we had a whole bunch of people from Louisiana move to Florida. So I remember that time vividly when Hurricane Katrina happened. We had a lot of people from Louisiana and New Orleans and those places come to Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, just reflecting, man. I've definitely learned a lot. I've learned a lot this year. You know, with this past year and some change, I've definitely learned a lot about the farm life. You know, living on land, living in the country, being self sufficient. It's a lot of stuff, man. That you're not just gonna be able to get in one day, but you get it by experiences. You're not gonna be able to get it by reading a book. You're not gonna be able to get it by reading a book. You're not gonna be able to get it by reading a podcast. You see, you're not gonna be able to get it by looking at a YouTube video. You're only gonna be able to get it by doing it. You can get an understanding of it, but getting that experience, that real experience, you're only gonna get that by doing it. And so I just been jumping head first into things, man. That's how my mind operates. I can sit up here and don't get me wrong, I do research. I definitely do my research. Like I didn't just go start butchering chickens out of the blue. No, I did my research. I watched videos after video after video, read books. You know what I'm saying? And also, tried to get some hands-on experience before I actually did it. But I just jump head first, man. When I set my mind to do something, I just do it. And that's how it is. That's how it's gonna be with farming and homesteading, man. And you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know, if you gardeners or whatever the case may be, you can read a lot. But when it's a different feel when you get your hands in that soil. G Mama Grows, I know you know about that. Mrs. L, I know you know about that. You can look at as many videos as you want as far as gardening. You can look at whatever you want and read whatever you want, but it's a different feel when you actually get your hands out there in that soil. You start to feel that dirt. You looking after those plants day by day. You starting them from seed. You seeing them sprout. You watering them. You fertilizing them. You see what I'm saying? It's a different feel. You get a you can almost sense some things in your spirit. You see what I'm saying? Like, tell me if I'm lying. You can sense some things in your spirit. You got a deeper intuition. Yes, Set Apart Gardens does have a Facebook page. I will give you that information. Matter of fact, if you look up Set Apart Gardens LLC on Facebook, we my page will come up. The page will come up. Right now on the Set Apart Gardens Facebook page, it's mainly the business page where we are advertising our poultry, our pastured poultry. I just got some goat meat in. I just made some goat tacos today, which was good. But yeah, I just got some goat meat in. I am advertising that on Facebook. I'm selling that. Next is I'm gonna get some more chicken in. And I'm gonna get some lamb and all that good stuff. But yeah, we do have a Facebook page, Set Apart Gardens LLC. And I also have another page on Facebook called Black to the Land. I haven't necessarily put a lot of time in it just yet, but that Facebook page is going to be a page where we can come and meet like-minded black people and people from other races, but mainly the target audience is black people, to come together and discuss our experiences with getting back to the land, our ambitions of getting back to the land, and our plans of how we can get back to the land in mass, how we can be self-sufficient. Because man, historically, man, I look back on the times, um, and I look back on my ancestors, and I just see how they were self-sufficient. Like black people, we had our own communities. We had doctors. We had teachers in school. We had our own schools, our own banks, our own lawyers. We had the farmers who fed the community. We had the construction workers who built the community. We had all of these different trades and things, and we were in self-sufficient communities. I want to be able to get back to a point to where we can operate like that. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing is we got to make sure we take care of the basic needs first. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, my plans for the future for the farm, definitely clearing the land. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna build fencing. I'm gonna build fencing for goats, for some more sheep, and for some hogs that I'm gonna raise and sell for meat. You know, I personally don't eat pork, but I know a lot of people do, and a lot of people have been requesting it. So I'm gonna raise. Those are the things I'm gonna raise for me. You see what I'm saying? And just clearing the land. So I've been buying things. I just bought a chainsaw that I'm gonna use to clear some land, and get some pasture. You see what I'm saying? Also, I want to have an orchard. I think it was G Mama Gross who left that comment about the bees. I believe it was her. Yeah, about the bees. That's another thing. I want to raise bees as well. So I want to have an area for bees. I'm gonna have an area for milk goats. I'm gonna have an area for cows. I can't have that many cows because I'm only on like 6 acres. But I can have like one or two, and if they're Dexter cattle, I can have maybe like three or four because they are miniature cows. So I can have. I'm gonna have cows, horses, area for horses. You know what I'm saying? For sheep, goats, if I didn't say it already, turkeys, chickens. So I already got my area right now for the pasture poultry. I actually just got some new chicken tractors in that I got to build. They're like aluminum. So I'm gonna build those up. I'm gonna do a video on that. Cause I actually just got 80 chicks in. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a video on that as well. I'm gonna put that out. But yeah, man, it's a lot of big things in the works. It's a lot of big things in the works. But it's just one step at a time, man. It's just putting one foot in front of the other. And there's so many things that gotta get done. Like you know how you know, let's say you work a job. Let's say you work a busy job, right? And at your job, you come to work in the morning. You know you got a lot of things to do, and man, I gotta do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I gotta do all of this stuff. But you understand, I gotta start off with one thing. I gotta get this knocked out first. I gotta prioritize it. This is the most important. From the most important to the least important. And you knock that thing out. And then, hey, if you can fit one of the smaller tasks that ain't real important, but you can get it out the way real quick, you do that. And then, okay, the next important. And then you just go down the list until you get it knocked. And then you try to multitask some of it. So yeah, that's how it is on the farm. It's it's one project at a time. It's one step at a time. And if you could do two things at once, or if you could knock one little thing out, then boom, you can knock that little thing out. But it's just you got to take it day by day. They say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's the same thing. It's an elephant, one bite at a time. You feel what I'm saying? Rome wasn't built in a day. United States of America wasn't built in a day. So yeah, those are my future plans, man. It's a lot. Clearing land, landscaping, area beautification, orchards. Because I already got fruit trees in the ground. I just got a banana tree in the ground as well. My grandmother-in-law, they bought me a banana tree, so I put that in the ground as well. So I want to have orchards, man. I want to do as much as I can on this 6 acres, and 6 acres is a lot. I thought, coming into it, I'm like, man, 6 acres, 5.8, whatever, man, that ain't really a lot. But man, okay, yeah, you think that till you get out here and you start working. Shit, it's a totally different story when you're doing it. Yeah, it's a lot. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, those are my future plans. But just reflecting, what animals have you raised that requires more maintenance? Animals that I raised sheep. Sheep are surprisingly low maintenance. The most maintenance that I've had in animals is in goats. When I had those goats, those were was the most maintenance. Because you got to make sure they got the minerals. You got to make sure they hooves trimmed. Depending on the breed, they get sick. Like the goats that I had, they got sick, man. They got sick a lot, and that's why I decided to just do away with that breed of goat. And it really was like a mixed breed because they sold them to me as boar, but they really wasn't like full-blooded boar or even maybe half boar. They sold them under that breed. I don't even think it was that. They were just so cheap that I bought them. But they kept getting sick for some reason, and they required a lot of maintenance. Like I had to buy medication for them, had to keep an eye on them, and escaping is another thing. Goats will escape. With all my experience with goats, they will escape. Matter of fact, I just bought a goat that I butchered. on that 4th of July video that I just uploaded, that goat that I butchered. When I bought that goat, I left him in the back of my truck inside of the transporting crate that I had. Um, and I went in the house I was in there for maybe like 30 minutes. I had a phone call. Man, I come back outside and that goat was out of the was out of that transport crate. You see what I'm saying? He had escaped. Goats are escape artists. So yeah, goats are a lot. You got to keep a eye on them. You got to keep an eye on goats. Sheep, they're easy, man. If you put a sheep in a fence, electric or permanent, they will respect that fence. They will respect that boundary. So you don't have to worry about them trying to escape. Chickens, chickens are pretty easy as well. Laying hens, yeah. Saint Moshe, shalom, shalom. Yeah, Saint Moshe. Yes, goats will escape. Yes, they will. If they can find an escape route. I told y'all about the story about that goat I butchered that escaped. He unlocked the fence with his horns. Yeah, goats will escape. So yeah, and I haven't had the experience of dealing with hogs, or I haven't had the experience of dealing with cattle, so I don't know about those. But yeah, goats is the most, I would say the most maintenance, if you will. Chickens, if you got laying hens, you just gotta clip their wings every now and then, and make sure they secure. Make sure can't no predators get to them. With meat birds, they number two on the list. Goats, then meat birds so far. Because I raise poultry for meat, of course. Yeah, man, you gotta make sure because I get them as 1 day old chicks or 2 day old chicks, however, 1 week old. I'm sorry. Yeah, I get them as like 1 week old chicks, right? I just got a batch in. I'm gonna do a video on that. I got a video I gotta upload. But I just got 80. I got 80 in, right? So yes, raising them from 1 week old. You gotta keep them in the brooder. You gotta feed them every day in the brooder. Make sure they got water. Make sure the heat lamp is good. You gotta pretty much protect them, and then you gotta transport them out to the pasture, to the chicken tractor. Every day you gotta go out and feed them. You see what I'm saying? And then when it comes time, first off, when you gotta move them anywhere, whether it's from the brooder to the pasture, or whether it's from the pasture to the truck to the processing plant, it's a lot of work. You talking about 80? Like previously, I raised 50. You see what I'm saying? 50, 60 ish. That's still a lot of work. You talking about you got to catch each one of them. You talking about you got to put them you got to put them in the crates and transport them. Man, that's a lot of work, man. And then don't let them get out, cause if they get out, chickens are fast. Chickens are fast, and I'm too old to be diving on the ground trying to catch chickens. I don't play football no more. I do not do that no more. So yeah, you gotta it's a lot of work. So chickens number two, cause they can get out. They can get out and then and transporting a lot of them. So meat chickens, if you will. But yeah, those are the most difficult. I think somebody else left a comment. Hold on, let's see. Saint Moshe, I got 3 goats. They got out and destroyed. Ooh, they destroyed your fruit trees. They will destroy stuff too, man. Your goats will destroy stuff. Yes, they will. You know what I'm saying? They will eat your garden. Yeah, they'll do that. They'll mess that over. That Lord minded saying unlock the fence. Had to put a lock on it. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not lying. Saint Moshe, what breed of goats do you got, Saint Moshe? What breed of goats you got, and do you like that breed? What do you raise them for? Do you raise them for milk or meat, or both? Are they dual purpose? And how are they? The purple elephant, yes, yeah, for real. But yeah, I just got a dog as well. I just got a dog as well. I have a white German Shepherd. It's a purebred dog, a purebred white German Shepherd. You know, I decided to get that dog, and I'm gonna do a video on that as well. As far as why I chose that breed and the good things about that breed, because one thing I learned, especially on other farms, because I have a real good friend. He's a dude from Pakistan, and he has a goat farm. You know, so like whenever I want to butcher a goat or something like that, if I want to buy goats, I know he's right up the street from me. He's like 30 minutes from me, so I can go, do what I need to do, get purchase it from him. and he has livestock guardian dogs. He has Great Pyrenees, you know, and I was talking to him about it because he was basically saying you want something to be there to have eyes on your livestock, your investment, when you don't. You see what I'm saying? When you can't have eyes on them. So when they out grazing, you know, say if they break free, and then as you guys know, um, the incident that I had earlier this year, was it earlier this year? Yeah, I believe it was earlier this year when the dogs got into my goat pen. I mean my sheep pen. You guys know about that situation. They attacked my sheep. So yeah, you want to have a livestock guardian dog. You want to have something to guard your livestock when you can't. You want to have something that's going to be and not even just your livestock, but your family. You see what I'm saying? Your house. Because guess what? If somebody come on my property, I want to be notified, and I want to have a first line of defense, which is my dog. That's going, hey, you know, people don't, they don't, especially guard dogs. People don't play with dogs. People do not play with dogs. So yeah, that's another reason. So I wanted to have something to protect my investment and to protect my family. So guess what? When my kids outside playing, because that's something that I always think about. You know what I'm saying? Like I live in the country. You never know what can come up. It could be a coyote. It could be a pack of wild dogs. It could be a wild hog. You never know. You see what I'm saying? And my kids, they so young. You see what I'm saying? Like they're not able. Like I could be outside. I'm good. You feel what I'm saying? Like if something try to come attack me, I can hold my own. But I got children. I got a wife. I got to think about that when I'm at work all day. So that's why I got a dog as well. You see what I'm saying? Because I want something that's loyal, something that's gonna protect, something that's gonna guard. So I got a white German Shepherd. Mainly, I always wanted a German Shepherd because they're just so much of intelligent dogs. They're the third most intelligent dog breed in the world. And then that white color, that white coat is just, oh man, my puppy is beautiful, and he's smart as well. He's beautiful, he's smart, but he's aggravating as well. So I do got to put that out there. But yeah, so I do got a German Shepherd. I got a livestock guardian dog, and I'm gonna walk you guys. I'm gonna take you guys along in that journey as well, as far as getting him acclimated. Like he's in the sheep pen right now. So once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go get him. So I have him in there during the day with the sheep just to get used to them. And then at night I put him in his cage and everything like that, and I feed him and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna take y'all on that journey as well because see, man, it's multifaceted. It's multifaceted, man. Running a farm, becoming self-sufficient is not just one facet. It's not just do this. No, it's you gotta incorporate this. You gotta think about that. You gotta do this, that. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. All right. Oh, you got Nigerian doors. Two doors in a buck. Oh, that's good to start off with. Yep, two doors in a buck. Yep. I started off with as far as on the sheep side, I started off with two ewes and a ram. So yeah. So do you raise your Nigerian doors for milk? My phone's about to die, so have a good one. Hey, White Family Home Farmstead, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank y'all so much. And I'm gonna continue to check out your content. But yeah, man, y'all have a blessed one. Have you had any other predators since the pack of dogs? Um, so funny story, right? It was about last week. Yeah, I want to say last week. I did have a predator, but the predator was my puppy. Yeah. So I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was a smart idea to put my puppy in the backyard with my chickens, with my lamb is. Yep. I thought that was a good idea. Couldn't do no wrong. I go back there. I look down. Dang, what happened? It's a dead hen. I'm like, and I'm thinking something might have got back there, right? So I turn around and go back and get something disposed of it. I come back, my puppy is biting on it, eating on it. So yeah, I did have a predator, but you know, it was my puppy. So yeah. But other than that, nope, I haven't had any other predators. I haven't had any raccoons, any coyotes, no. But yeah, I had my damn dog who killed one of my laying hens. So now I have four left that lay eggs for me. Hey, baby, you want to come say hi to the live?
Hello. Can
Yeah, we got 7 viewers.
Oh, we got 7 views. Okay, turn up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
What y'all
I
talking
was just
about?
talking about how Chase was killed one of our chickens.
Oh yeah, it was only one. I found the fourth one.
Yeah.
No,
Oh
it's
yeah.
four out there.
Yes, 4. Yeah, yeah. So we got 4 left. Yeah, but yeah, that's ever since then, no, we haven't had any predators to worry about, cause they already know. Hey, if I catch you, you going down. You know, you're going down. But yeah, primarily for meat, maybe try some. Okay, Saint Moshe. I haven't heard of I didn't know you could raise Nigerian doors for meat. Is the meat pretty good, and do you get a lot of meat off of them? And cheese, man, that's good. Oh, getting a cat to keep away the small pests. That's a good idea. I have stray cats as well. I have stray cats around my homestead, but they never mess with my chickens. I feed them. I feed them some little stuff every now and then. Okay, goat cheese. That's good. Primarily for meat. Okay, yeah, that's amazing. Thought about turkeys? Yep, I just bought 15 turkeys. I just bought 15 turkeys. They is in the mail. They coming. They should be here in about 2 weeks. So I got 15 turkeys on the way. Next year, my turkey operation is gonna go up. This year, it's just so much going on, man. I can't do everything at once. Cause infrastructure. I keep stressing this. Infrastructure. You wanna raise pasture poultry, chicken traps. If you wanna have laying hen, chicken coop. If you wanna have pasture turkey, turkey trap. If you wanna have, just a flock for yourself, turkey coop. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But I'm in the process of building all that stuff, man. But yeah, I got 15 turkeys in, and I'm gonna raise from meat. I'm gonna put them in one of those tractors I just bought. I bought 3 big old tractors, man. It cost me $700. But that's the cost of it. You gotta do what you gotta do, just a little bit at a time. You do it a little bit at a time. You see what I'm saying? But yes, turkeys, most definitely, because turkeys, aside from my family's consumption, because we eat turkey, we eat a lot of turkey, but also you got turkey eggs to think about, as well as selling turkey. Selling turkey is profitable, especially around the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas. You see what I'm saying? So yes, I have thought about turkeys. It was a pleasure tuning in, everyone. My granddaughters are cutting up. I'll catch the rest of the live. Shalom. Shalom, Lena Yasharala. Shalom. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To be honest, I never tasted specific Nigerian, but I'll find out in a little bit. Yeah, let me know, man. Let me know. Most definitely. Yeah, I know, bro. I have 4 chickens and a guy in the family, so I know the days don't be long enough. Man, the days do not be long enough, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, man, like, especially, it seems like the days go by even quicker when you got help. You know what I'm saying? Like when I had my cousins up here, they was helping me with the fence. We was knocking the fence out, and I'm telling them the whole time, I'm like, yeah, man, after this, I wanna see if y'all can help me build a chicken coop. Man, when I tell you the day went by so fast, I was like, damn. But we got what we intended to get done, which is a good thing. But yeah, man, the days go by fast, man. It seems like ain't enough time in the world. You know what I'm saying? If it's not too personal, what made you leave active duty? My husband is thinking heavy on it after this tour. Ooh, no, it's not personal at all. It's not personal at all. Well, not too personal, but it is. I could. It was multifaceted. So let me say this. First off, active duty, getting in the Army was one of the best decisions I had ever made. Joining the Army. I joined the Army fresh out of high school. I remember the day when I enlisted. I remember the day when the recruiters came in my class. And I said I want to join the Army. Because, like, to be honest with y'all, Set Apart Gardens family, to be honest, open, and transparent, to be real with y'all, it was either I was going to go in the Army or I was going to go in the streets. You see what I'm saying? So I decided to go in the Army because I know I wanted to go to college. And I knew, I probably get a job, but, at the end of the day, everybody around me living that lifestyle. So I went in the Army. Had a great time in the Army, learned a lot. Was definitely blessed and favored through the whole process. But, eventually got married. I felt that in my spirit, to settle down. Got married, married my wife, which is one of the best things that has ever happened to me. and had my first son, my son DJ, my oldest son, and you know moved back to the states, PCS back to the states to Virginia, a little bit closer to family, and I just started to see, man, just how much it was taking me away from my family. And when I was a young soldier in the army, I volunteered to go, to go on missions. I like going to the field. I wanted to deploy. I wanted to do all that high speed stuff. But then when I settled down and had a family, I understood I didn't want to raise my children up. Not necessarily. I don't necessarily say dysfunction is the word, but uh, 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 dang, what's the word I'm looking for? I wanted them to be stable. I didn't want them to live in instability. You see what I'm saying? So I had my first son. Life was going good in the army, still. And then my wife got pregnant again, and I understood. Hey, I'm gonna have the PCS. I'm gonna have to go to another duty station. I'm uncertain of what it's gonna be. I can leave and deploy as soon as I get there. I can have to go 6 months to Korea or 6 months here, 3 months there, this and that. And I didn't want that, man, because I love my children. I love my family. I want to be there every single day. Like even in the Army Reserve, sometimes when I have to go away for 3 weeks, man, it's too much for me to be away from my family. So that's what really that was one of the determining factors as far as me getting off of active duty. And then another thing was God. He was leading me toward that direction. And God had told me He wanted me to go to college and get my degree in biblical studies, which I did. I ended up once I got off of active duty, I ended up going to college and getting my degree in biblical studies and theology. And that was one of the other reasons why He wanted me to get out as well. And it was the right decision, man. It was just the right thing to do, like, because this is the thing. I could have done 20 years in, and then the last thing too. I'm sorry before I go into that. Last thing, it wasn't my purpose. It was a stepping stone towards my purpose. My purpose is to be a farmer. I always wanted to be a farmer. Like even when I was 16, I always wanted to be a farmer. Like I told you, I raised chickens when I was in high school. You see what I'm saying? So I always want that always been in me to be a farmer, agriculture, something in agriculture. You know what I'm saying? So that was the third and final reason why I got out. So yeah, man, and it was just the right thing to do. It was the right decision. But one thing I would say to you, the purple elephant, is have your husband pray on it. You know what I'm saying? Pray on it and ask God what He wants you guys to do. Because here's the thing, God, see, our destiny is already written before we were even born. It's already written. So God already knows what you're gonna do. Just walk that path. You know what I'm saying? So if He's thinking heavily on it, pray to God first, get confirmation, and then get a plan. Get a plan. You see what I'm saying? Because that's one thing I had coming out of active duty was a plan. That's why God blessed me, because I went straight into another job, and I went straight to another situation to where I was able to provide for my family. So yeah, that's what it is. Keep God first. You know what I'm saying? Depend on Him. I'm not ashamed to say that. I ask God before I make a decision in my life. Before I make a decision, and He will never lead you wrong. So yeah, everybody's saying he'll be crazy to get out of town with this economy. This the thing. This the thing, right? We're not living in the era that our grandparents grew up in, to where you go and you work for somebody for 20, 30, 40 years, and you retire and get a pension, and you set for the rest of your life. We don't live in those times no more. Inflation is so high to the point where you won't even. I know, man, 80% of the retirees that I know who retired out of the military, they still have to go and get a second job. Even with retirement and disability, they still go and get a second job. They still go and get a second job. I'm a Department of the Army civilian. I work with retirees. They still have another career after they retire from the Army, even if they have 100% disability and they've done 20 years in the Army, they still get a second job. Not necessarily to make ends meet, but to live a comfortable lifestyle in this economy and this society we live in today. So guess what? People can say your husband crazy all day. They told me I was crazy because in the Army, I came in the Army as an E1. All right, and I hate going to rent. I'm about to we about to get off and I'm about to end in about 10 minutes. But I love that you brought this topic up. But anyways, I got in the army as an E1. I started off as an E1. I was promoted to E5 in 3 years. I made E5 in less than 3 years, right? I was on the way to E6 in under 6 years. I was about to make E6 in the army, so I was fast tracking. I told them I'm getting out. Everybody, everybody was against it. My supervisors, the officers, the sergeants, sergeant majors, NCO, everybody was against it. You see what I'm saying? They're like, you crazy. Man, you could be a drill sergeant, you could be a recruiter, you E6, man, you can make something major in 15, yeah, 15, 20 years, you can make something major, you can retire, or you can go officer path, all this stuff. They thought I was crazy. But guess what? Now I'm operating in my purpose because I made that leap. And then not to mention, oh man, you do 20 years and you get the retirement benefits, which are great. I'm not downplaying them, but guess what? Operating your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Too many people associate a good job with purpose. A good job don't equal purpose. No, purpose equals what God has ordained you and predestined you to do. Because I've been in the Army Reserve about 4 years. I got 2 years left in the Army Reserve. That'll put me at a total of 11, and I'm getting out. That's over the halfway mark. People still now. Oh man, don't get out of the Army Reserve. Man, peace. I'm going. I'm going with the deuces. Because guess what? I need to operate on my purpose for a time. So keep God first. If He give you that confirmation, go forward with it. People say you crazy all day. Man, all the people who we read about in the history books, people call them crazy. Just think about that. You know what I'm saying? Christ, the one who died for our sins, was crucified on the cross. They thought he was crazy. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, people gonna say you crazy. Don't worry about that. I was going to join the Marines, but I'm happy I dodged that bullet. I pass it to the Most High. Hey man, it be like that sometimes. I feel like my husband's deployed right now. I'm sitting in Japan by myself. I will definitely keep you lifted in prayer, sister. You know that is a tough thing. That is a tough thing, but guess what? Trouble don't last always. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how blessed they are to have a father in their life. Much respect, man. Amen. A man's going is of the Lord. Amen. Amen, brother. Yeah, we done turned this to a whole sermon. Right? He went in with a degree. I feel like he'll be just fine, even better if he gets out. Guess what? He gonna as long as see, this is the thing. You covered by God. So it don't matter what degree, what certificates, qualifications you got, experience, none of that matters. Because I know people who got out of the army prematurely, even though they was in a good career field and they maybe had some schooling or degrees, they got out, they still can't find a good job. Because guess what? It goes back to who you know. And I'm not talking about in worldly terms who you know. I'm talking about in spiritual terms who you know. About who you know. You see what I'm saying? So yes, I definitely keep you keep your family in my prayers. And can't wait till you guys get back to the States. I want y'all to visit the homestead. You've been talking about that for a while. I remember you talked about that you want to come visit. So yes, sister, I'm praying for you. This live bless me. Amen. I'm glad. It's hey, thank God. Thank God, the Holy Spirit. Amen. But yes, God is our source. Amen. Amen, y'all. But yes, this is my first live. I'm gonna do a live every Friday. That's my goal. You know, I may miss a Friday, but my goal as of right now is to do a live every single Friday. That's the word I'm giving you guys. And I appreciate y'all for coming on to my live. Leave, like I said, if you got comments, man, drop them in the comment section or email me at sapgardens1@gmail.com. That's sapgardens1@gmail.com. If you have any questions, you want to talk, you need advice about, whatever I can help you with. I'm not a pro or anything like that. I just got a little bit of experience, with farming and homesteading, raising sheep, butchering, whatever whatever you got a question about. You see what I'm saying? You can look at it to me. But man, if y'all haven't already, if you're on this live and you ain't subscribed, you're wrong. Dead wrong. No, I'm just playing. But nah, man, please subscribe. Um, one of my main goals, yes, is to make a profit off of my YouTube channel. That's one of my main goals. But my main goal, well, first off, my main goal is to operate in my purpose given by God. But my main goal for being on YouTube is to get this message, get this movement in front of people as far as getting back to the land, getting black to the land, getting black people back to the land. That's what it's about. Because we dependent on everybody else. We've been historically, systemically, underprivileged, and we've been forced out of this industry, man, out of this farming industry. With the pig versus Glickman case, you know what I'm saying, with the USDA and all of that, in the past, not talking about right now, but in the past, yes, the USDA has discriminated against black farmers. In 1920, we had more black farmers than we have today in 2022. And I'm gonna share a quick story with y'all before I get off of this. Before I get off the live, I'm gonna share a quick story about my history, a personal example of racial oppression with my ancestors. I'm gonna share a really personal story with y'all that I learned about recently this year. But yeah, like and subscribe, man. Share this video if you found, or share any video of mine on my channel if you found value in it. Man, share this with your family and friends, man. Get this message in front of people, get this movement in front of people, man. Again, black people back to the land. But anyways, before I let y'all go, I'm gonna tell y'all this story about my family. All right. So recently, like in the past 2-3 years, I've had this interest as far as going back in my ancestry and my family lineage, right? And going back into my ancestry and my family lineage, I was going through my father's mother, which is my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, her father's side, right? My grandmother was born in Jacksonville, Florida. My father was born in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm born in Jacksonville, Florida. My grandmother's father was born in Millen, Georgia, which is Jenkins County, which is maybe like an hour and a half away from me. I passed through there many times. Jenkins County, Georgia, right? And his mother, last name goes by the last name of Striggers. And going through her ancestry, her father name, her name was Ella Mae Striggers. Her father's name was Zolly Striggers, right? And Zolly Striggers was the son of an enslaved woman and a white man, right? So her husband's name was Archibald Striggers. His father's name was Nicholas Striggers, white man. Nicholas Striggers, his father's name was George Striegel. The name Striegels, it derives from Striegel, which is a German last name. So George Striegel, which was an immigrant from Germany, came over here to Georgia in the United States to help colonize the area of Georgia, the state of Georgia, to help colonize. It was the Scriven, I want to say it's the Scriven Plantation. I think that's the name of it, yeah. The Scriven Plantation. And so, like I said, George Striegel, Nicholas Striegel, Archibald Striegel. Now, Archibald took two slave wives, right? One named Barbara Sapp, and the other, what's that? I forget my own great grandmama name. Barbara Sapp, and I want to say, I forget her name. But anyways, the second second slave wife was my great grandmother. She gave birth to, like I said, my other grandmother, right? So basically, Archibald Striegel, he inherited thousands of acres of land because back in those days, if you fought in the Revolutionary War, if you came as an immigrant and you helped colonize the United States, basically they were getting land grants. They were getting land grants for whatever, thousands of acres here, 100 acres there, as white men, white people. They got land. Land was just thrown around back in those times. Whether it was, through the federal government, through serving in the war, through help colonize or whatever the case may be. But anyways, my family inherited this land from my great grandfather, from him fighting in the war and then from colonizing and all that. So Archibald Striegel, which was a white man, white slave owner, he inherited, I want to say, somewhere around the ballpark of 700 acres. And like I said, he married 2 slave wives. And between them, he had about 7 kids. And my great grandmother was one of those kids. Archibald Striegel, before he passed away, he wanted to pass that land down to his sons and daughters, have them split the land up. You know what happened? The Klan. Yep. In those times, in the 1800s, early 1800s, black people wasn't even allowed to own land. Mulatto people, mixed people, weren't allowed to own land. So the Klan came, once they got wind of what was trying to happen, as far as, the land being passed down through my family tree, the Klan came and ran them off of the land and took the land. Jenkins County, Georgia, like I said, an hour and a half from me. Not far at all. Not far at all. So, the same plantation my ancestors were enslaved on, which is not even far from me, I can drive there right now. The land that was supposed to be passed down, the land that was still supposed to be in my family to this day, the Ku Klux Klan ran my family out and took that land. Because black people weren't allowed to own land back then. Mixed people weren't allowed to own land back then. Even though they tore up the land, they cultivated the land. They tilled the land. They harvested from the land. They did all the work on the land. My ancestors did. They did all that. They were property on that land. And they even owned that land. My white ancestors owned that land. They tried to pass it down to people who look like me. And they were ran off of that land, and that land was stolen. You see what I'm saying? That's why I farm. That is why I farm. That is why I homestead. That is why I bought land. And it's going to continue to buy land. Because land was taken from my ancestors. Land that was rightfully theirs. We're not talking about, somebody just popping up out the woodwork saying, oh, you owe us. No, I'm talking about a specific instance where this land could have been, you're talking about 700 and some acres could have been in my family today. Not saying I would have necessarily had a piece of it, but at the same time, my family would have owned it, and it would have been in my family. So who knows what it would have been? We don't know what it would have been, because it didn't become. You see what I'm saying? So that is why I farm. When you think about it, it's really a revolutionary act. It's really a revolutionary act to get back to farming, because so many black people were ran off of their land. So many black people had their land taken. Several instances. You can look at the Gullah Geechee people. You can look at people in North Carolina. You can look at people in Georgia, wherever. You can look at people in Florida who've gotten their land taken. Because a white man came and said, hey, these are my 20 acres right here. And those times, you couldn't go against a white man in court. That was a crime. You feel what I'm saying? So the Klan came and ran my family out that land. They took something away from my lineage that could have became. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the personal story. When I learned about that, man, that right there, man, that messed me up. Because I'm like, wow. When you think you're getting something rightfully, and it's taken away from you. But guess what? We live in a different time. And now, and I was just writing this when I was proposing, when I was applying for a grant. And I was just, they were saying, why am I proud of my farm? Of my business, rather. And I was like, I'm proud of my business and my farm because I'm doing something my ancestors were snatched away from their homeland to do. And they did it for free. And they weren't able to get paid for it. And they were forced to do it. And now I'm able to profit off of it. And now I'm able to live the American dream that they never were afforded to live. So you mean to tell me, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this. So you mean to tell me I'm able to benefit and capitalize and profit off of something that my ancestors were taken away from their homeland for, that they were brought to a foreign land to do. They did it for free. They were stolen from. They were taken advantage of. They were mistreated. They were kept illiterate. I can get into a lot of the atrocities, but I'm able to do what they did for hundreds of years for free. I'm able to do this and get paid and also feed my people, provide affordable costs to my people. I'm able to do this with. Oh man, sign me up. Sign me up, man. Shoot. Sign me up. What, man? Come on, man. That's a blessing. I said because I'm letting my ancestors know their efforts didn't go to waste. Their efforts didn't go to waste. My great grandmother, my grandfather, who is in his 70s right now, his mother was born on a slave plantation in Alabama. His dad was a sharecropper. You see what I'm saying? They didn't follow me. So I'm able to do it. They was doing it for free. I'm able to profit off of it, get paid for it. Man, that's a blessing. But yep, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Oh, DNR Homestead, what's going on? Appreciate you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Cosmic Carbon Consciousness. Hey, thank you for joining. Thank y'all for joining. Hey, man, last time asking. Anybody got any more questions or anything? Anything they want to add before I sign off? Let me know. I ain't in a rush, but at the same time, it's Friday night. I'm chilling though. Cosmic Carbon. Man, that's a tongue twister. Cosmic Carbon Consciousness. Yep, thank you. DNR Homestead. Email me if you haven't already. Email me at sapgardens1@gmail.com. And we'll talk. I'm not sure if it was you who emailed me, but I know somebody emailed me talking about they wanted to visit the farm and the homestead. We've had people visit as well. Man, we had people come from Virginia to visit. You know what I'm saying, man? People come from Florida to visit. Yeah, come on, come visit. DNR Homestead, yeah, I just want to say too, DNR Homestead, I appreciate you. For supporting me, for supporting my channel. You know what I'm saying? God has blessed your cause. Amen. What God has ordained, no man can stop it. My husband's ex-military, first sergeant. Hey, what's going on, Top? That's what we call first sergeants in the Army, Top. Amen, Mrs. L. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being a long-time supporter. I really appreciate you, Mrs. L. Even those questions that you sent a while back that we did a video on. Thank you for that as well. I appreciate that. Any feedback is good feedback, man. If y'all got any specific videos y'all want me to do that y'all feel like I have the expertise to tackle, send it to me in my own email. We're trying to get our homestead out the ground here in Georgia. What part of Georgia you live in? Cosmic Carbon Consciousness. I will let him know you call him Top. He probably gonna laugh. Hey man, have a blessed night, sister. The Purple Elephant, have a blessed night. I appreciate you again. And remember what I said, pray on that. And my family can't wait to meet your family when y'all come back stateside. 1 hour south of Augusta in the country. Y'all, where exactly? What's the city? Because I live not too far from there. I was just in Augusta last weekend. I live like 2.5 hours from Augusta. I'm not far from Augusta at all. Southeast, southwest. Like where at? What's the name of the Sandersville. Okay. Yeah, you're not far at all. Okay, how many acres you got down there in Sandersville? And let me ask you this: what do you want to raise? What are you doing right now? Are you trying to raise chickens, turkeys, goats, sheep, hogs, cattle? You got a garden? I will be Albany, Georgia, coming down second week of August. Second week of August, that should be good. 1 8, oh, 13? Oh man, that's a blessing. Amen, brother. The sister. Cosmic carbon consciousness. Amen. 13 acres. That's good. If you're in Albany, Georgia, I believe I'm maybe like 3 hours east of Albany. If you don't mind taking a trip, man, come on. And I'll give you a tour of what we got going on. Chickens and goats first. Yeah, man, chickens are the gateway. I made a video on that. Chickens are the gateway. We have a container garden right now. That's good. Amen. You gotta see, that's the thing. Just start somewhere. It don't matter what you start with. I started off with a little raised with a little, it wasn't too little, but I started off with a little raised bed, man. Little raised bed garden. We have 27 acres with the garden, DNR homestead. Hey, DNR homestead, where's your homestead located? Cause I love fishing and I want to get in the hunt. And where y'all located at? Shoot, I gotta ask. That's a blessing though. Do y'all raise anything DNR homestead? We are off grid and live in a camper right now. Off grid, man. You know what? Man, that's my goal to live off grid. That is my absolute goal to live off grid. Like I have a well on my property. I want to get it to a point to where I can operate it myself. Solar panels, all that good stuff, and just live off the grid, man. Because my electricity bill be high. And not only that, I don't know. Me personally, I just always had that fantasy living off the grid. It's no bills, like you said. It's wonderful, no bills. Amen. Carbon, Sandersville. Hey man, Cosmic Carbon Consciousness. Email me at sapgardens1@gmail.com, man. Let's talk, man. Because you're in Georgia, I love to see it, and we can, man. Hey, I would love to come out and see what you got going on, man. If you want to come see what I got going on, and we could just fellowship. DNR Homestead, Silverwood, Missouri. Okay. Hey, email me DNR Homestead. Let's talk as well. Um, let's talk. You know, I definitely want y'all guys to come out and visit, man, and build a relationship, because this is the thing, right? This is the thing. It's not just about networking, it's about building relationships. Well, networking is building relationships. But yes, it's about building relationships. You know what I'm saying? Although I might have a YouTube platform, you know what I'm saying? I still want to reach out to like-minded people, because guess what? DNR Homestead, who's to say, if I'm, in the Midwest and I come to see what you guys got going on, I can document that. Because it's the thing, right? A part of getting the message in front of people is bringing awareness to the people that, hey, it's more of us than you think. It's more black farm owners than you think. It's more black landowners than you think. It's more black hunters than you think. It's more black fishermen than you think. It's more black self-sufficiency minded people than you think. I want to bring that message to the people as well, to the fact that we don't just live in inner cities and shoot each other and gang bang all the time and live in projects in the ghetto. No, we do a lot of stuff. You see what I'm saying? So yes, I definitely want to network and fellowship and build a relationship, because guess what? This it's a part of the movement and a part of the message. We'll do my hubby would love that. Yep. Go, have him email me. My husband's proud of you. Thank you so much, DNR Homestead. I really appreciate that. Come on. We will teach to hunt. Hey, I want to learn to hunt. DNR Homestead, I'm dead serious. I want to learn to hunt. I do. I do. I'm about to buy me a hunting rifle right now, cause you can't hunt with an AR, so I'm gonna get me a hunting rifle. I want to hunt. I already know how to skin an animal. But yeah, tell them that's something I definitely be interested in. I totally agree. This is what I teach my daughter in homeschool unity. Amen. Amen. Yeah, my son was homeschooled. My son's 5. He was homeschooled for the past 2 years, and we gonna get him in public school this year though. Get him socialized a little bit. We had processed 11 deer in my freezer. Wow. See, man, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I just had I I just had some fried deer meat 2 weeks ago. Best thing I ever had. I love deer. I love deer meat. And if he can teach me how to hunt, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. My family, my my family, like when I be tell them about a goat or a sheep or a chicken I done butchered, cause I'm from Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I don't know if you ever been to Jacksonville, Florida. The hood part of Jacksonville, the north side. It's city, hood, country mixed together. It's all that. You know what I'm saying? It's southern, but you got it's a little country too, but it's hood too. But I be I be sending stuff to my family, and they be like, man, you country, where you get that from? You and it's in my blood. It's in my blood, honestly, y'all. Cause I didn't grow up like this. As far as on the farm, I didn't grow up like this at all. I just always had an interest for it. I always had a knack for it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you can teach me how to hunt, shoot. No, please keep up the homeschooling. You know what? Praise God. I praise God for you. I praise God for you, DNR Homestead. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for taking your time out your day. Everybody, thank y'all for taking y'all time out of y'all day. You know what I'm saying? To come and entertain a whole little country boy in South Georgia. No, please keep up the homeschooling. You know what? Cosmic Carbon Consciousness. I do plan on, throughout the years, homeschooling, bringing him back into homeschool. But for now, man, my son, I just want him to get socialized a little bit, just a little bit. And my daughter, we're gonna keep homeschooling her, and we just playing by ear with each child. But I know my son, he's more of a social butterfly. It's not even just the school; it's the sports I'm gonna get him into, because I want him to be able to, be around children and around other children in a healthy, like manner. You know what I'm saying? But also, you know, stay set apart. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm involved in the school, and the reason, and one of the main reasons why I decided to send him to public school is because we live in a small town where everybody knows everybody. We live in a small town where everybody knows everybody. In the high school, the middle school, in the elementary schools, the pre-Ks, they all in the same county, all of the same teachers, faculty, all of that stuff. And we'll definitely be able to keep a close eye, and we'll know what the curriculum is. Dear Sasha is wonderful. Please come and visit one day. We we might have to come to get you and your family. Hey, we'll come. Hey, Missouri, we will come. See, this the thing, dear in our homestead. Don't invite me because I'll come. For real, for real. I'm just tell you that now, off top. I will come. I will show up. Dang, it's 10:19. I didn't even know it's that late. I grew up in the big city myself. What city did you grow up in? Sit there in the black homeschool. I will look that up. I'm gonna look that up. Cosmic Carbon Consciousness. I'll look that up. God is, Amen, Amen. Wow, that's my goal to hear that, to hear those words. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Come on to Michigan. Oh, Michigan. I'm thinking you talking about Missouri. Oh, Michigan. Oh man, you ain't far. You ain't that far. That's what, about 14, 15 hours from me. My father. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you what, DNR Homestead. You messaged me, cause my father-in-law just moved to Chicago. He just moved to Illinois, and we supposed to be coming to visit him this year. So if we come up to visit him this year, I'm gonna take some extra days off to visit you in Michigan. Oh, you from Cleveland, Ohio? Okay, okay. I got people from Ohio. Got people from Cleveland, Ohio. Man, what made you want to move down to Georgia? Yeah, don't invite me DNR Homestead because I'm gonna come. I'm just telling you. Shoot, you talking about hunting too? Fishing? Oh man, come on. Don't do that. That's up my alley. I'll fish all day. I'm going fishing in the morning. Put some fish in the freezer. Yep. Hey, if you on here, drop a comment. If you on here, drop a comment. I'm focusing anyways. Okay, okay, okay. Hey man, well thank you. Well, I'm glad you're down here in South Georgia. I know, yeah, South Georgia. You're in mid South Georgia. I know it's a big difference. I know it's a big difference from Ohio. You know, it's a big difference. And I know the weather is different too, cause y'all it be cold up there. I lived in Virginia for 4 years, and that was too cold for me. And that ain't even cold. I was seeing you pictures one day. Okay, okay. That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. Yep. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Sure. But yeah, I would definitely love to excuse me. I would definitely love to come and see what you guys see what you guys got going on. And I would love for you guys to see what I got going on. And we can work together and network. Because remember the overall goal, it ain't just about me or you. It's about us. You know what I'm saying? And it's about first off it's about doing God's will. But it's about us as a people. Making sure we as people look out for one another. And I'm not even necessarily making it a racial thing, um, to be spiteful or anything like that. You know, just to be a realist, because you know, it shouldn't be a problem when a black person says, "I want to do this for black people," because it's never an issue when Chinese people say, "I want to do this for Chinese." They have Chinatown. Or German people say, "I want to do this for Germans." Or when Italian people say, "I want to do this for Italians." Little Italy, Chinatown. You know, there's Mexican, Hispanic, Puerto Rican. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing. Just always remember, there's nothing wrong with wanting to do stuff for your people. Now, I'm not excluding anybody, because guess what? Like I just told you, my 5-time great granddaddy was white man. It might not have been by choice, but that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I got family. It's not about that. But I'm just saying. I'm speaking for a demographic of people. Speaking for a demographic of people, as black folks in mass, we have to stick together, or we will be headed to destruction. Because what's going on now with inflation and all this stuff, people, yeah, you just gotta, you gotta look out, especially in the body of Christ. You gotta look out for our fellow brothers and sisters in the body of Christ. And that's not even a race thing. You have been in the South for over 20 years now. Oh, okay. Oh, so you used to it. Yeah, you used to it. Okay. Okay. Man, well, thank you for coming to the South. Whatever you don't have, maybe I can bring you some veggies from my garden. My husband was stationed in Georgia. He's from Mexico. Oh, what part of Georgia did not homestead? Whatever you don't have, maybe I can bring some veggies from my garden. Okay, hey, bring what all do you grow in your garden, DNR homestead? Make sure you are prepping for this future down in the economy. Cosmic, I'm gonna just call you Triple C. Is that okay? Cosmic Carbon Consciousness. Can I call you Triple C? Is that okay? If it's not, I just call you Cosmic Carbon Consciousness. I just don't want to get tongue tied. But yes, prepping. Yes, you have to prep. And like I was just saying earlier, I don't know if you caught it. I don't know if you caught it, but I was talking about prepping in what I feel like, me personally, what I feel like is one of the most important parts of prepping, which is the know-how and the knowledge, and also prepping the seeds that's going to breed continuity, the animals that's going to breed continuity, because you can store up food all day and all night, but once it runs out, do you know how to regrow it? Do you know how to grow it? You see what I'm saying? Yes, C3. Okay, C3. I'm gonna call you C3. C3. Yep. But do you know how to regrow it? Hold on. Let me go get out my charger real quick. Give me 1 second. Sorry, y'all. Had to grab my charger. My phone on 3%. Let's see what we got here. Tell me, how can we bless you? Oh, you bless me enough, sister. DNR Homestead, you bless me enough. I'm telling you, I'm a simple man. I'm simple. My family, we simple people. You bless me just by your support. You bless me by commenting on this live. I ain't being funny. I'm being for real. And now you talk, and you know, the invite to your homestead, it's a blessing. And bring, hey, them fresh veggies, I love them. I got some tomatoes coming in too, and I got some corn growing. Make sure y'all put them. Okay. Your love of the black race does not mean that you hate other races. That's not what others do. Yeah. Oh, hey, C3. I already understand that. You know, I just have to put that disclaimer out there because I don't want people to feel like that. Because guess what? Truth be told, um, you know, a white person, a Chinese person, you know, Indian person, a Pakistani person, whoever, they can come and ask for my expertise and help, and they want to come and see what I got going on. Man, I would help anybody. You know, I would support anybody, but I'm just telling you my focal point. I'm just telling people my focal point is black people. You know, because I just, that's my people. You know what I'm saying? But no, I understand. It don't mean I hear that, but I know that. I just want others to know that. My bad, step away. Onions, collard greens, green beans, all the vegetables except corn. Collard greens. You should have supposed to start storing seeds. Saint Moshe, glad you said that. I'm going to show you my system of how I store seeds. I'm going to show you how, just a simple way you can store your seeds. Corn attracts too many moths and butterflies that ruin yours. I'm an ex-Montessori school owner. Oh, wow. What do you need for your children? Oh, man. I was actually looking into a Montessori school for my son. I was looking into that. Because I definitely want my children to grow up with, not only just being homeschooled and all that, but I want them to have a more advanced curriculum, a more in-depth and unique curriculum than the public school system. The public school system is just temporary right now. I'm mainly just doing this to get my son just socially. You know what I'm saying? I have a plan. It's not, but yeah, that's good. That's good. Being on homestead. I love it going home. Script says you're beautiful, peaceful, and all Then our homestead, when you email me, I can respond with exactly what I need because I gotta get to my wife because she do most of the homeschooling. Because of course I be at work. Say, bro, you're like your chill nosy. Your chill rocking nosy. Oh, I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me now? Sorry about that. I get walking on this rubber chill. Can y'all hear me? Do you need lesson plan and my... Yes, please. DNR Homestead, yes. Please, can you send that to me? Can you send that to me, DNR Homestead? Please, yes. Can y'all hear me? Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on, y'all. It might be my neighbors. They're cutting grass. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna let me sign up. Let me start teaching my own. Amen. Yes, we do. I agree with you totally. Sound like rain. I don't know what's going on. Once I pull up the record, something will start acting crazy. All right, y'all. But I'm gonna sign off. I appreciate y'all for signing on my live. Definitely appreciate y'all supporting my channel, man. Please like. I know most of y'all subscribe, if not all. And please share my videos. Please share. And email me. Email me at sapgardens1@gmail.com and we'll talk more, okay? All right, peace and blessings, y'all. Shalom.